Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're taking a look at an EDC flashlight. It is the CYANSKY P10. At least I think that's what it's called, CYANSKY. You guys could, correct that if you think it's wrong. But anyway, we got a black one here, we got a red one, and we got a beautiful hunter green one. I like the red one a lot. In fact, the red one's the one I've carried the most thus far. Now, I was interested in these. This was a Amazon find, and I like these because I'm a huge fan of small, pocketable EDC lights. You guys know I carry a little EDC organizer pouch, and I am all about the single AA or single AAA flashlights. All right, so right here next to it is a periwinkle edition of the i5R EOS, all right, from Olight, one of my favorites, and kind of the gold standard, in my opinion, for a single AA light. Now, although there are, competition out there like this, also Thrunite. As far as Olight versus Thrunite, I might make a good video in the future. I tend to feel like Thrunite offers more capability for less money almost every single time. Olight obviously has the variety. They got all the colors and limited edition stuff and, just some cool things. But anyway, this is, to me, like I said, one of my all-time favorite go-tos, not just this periwinkle version of it, but just all of them. I love them. Not only this one, but obviously the single AAA, which is the i3T. So I'm kind of, comparing it directly with that one. It is a little bit cheaper, all right? They're about the same size. We put them next to each other. You can see the CYANSKY is just, if I put the heads next to each other, just a hair shorter. All right, they both have the bi-directional removable pocket clips. All right, so that's cool. They both have reverse clicky buttons. You can see the style's a little bit different. This is kind of more of a small protruding button as opposed to a flatter, wider, button there. Kind of like two different nipple styles, if you will. But anyway, yeah, so this one has two modes. You guys are probably super familiar with this. Very popular EDC. We basically have low and we have high, right? Momentary or constant on. The CYANSKY has three modes, which I think is fascinating. So we have low, medium, and high. All right, so you can just cycle through them and then click in if you want constant on for any of them. Now, as far as price and output, because that's what it really all comes down to with flashlights, how much is it? How bright is it? That's what everyone wants to know. So the CYANSKY P10s, these are 300 lumens on max, all right? That high mode's 300 lumens, and these cost $26.95. Now, in comparison, the Olight, the i5R, is going for about $35.95, and their high output is 350 lumens. So they're 50 more lumens, about $9 more, in and around, just depends. Now you could still get the i5Ts, the non-rechargeables, which is maybe more comparable to this because these don't use rechargeable AA's, they just use regular alkaline. But the originals, I want to say, is also 300 lumens, but they're also a couple bucks more. You could still get them on sale for probably $29, $30, something like that. So they're about, $5, $6 cheaper than the rechargeable. In that case, if you're penny pinching, I like the rechargeable. I think it's just, more capable for another $5 or $6. But hey, if you want to, like I said, have a more fair comparison, the i5T compared to the CYANSKY, still cheaper with the same output, but barely cheaper. What is interesting, and you guys can look this up, I don't know for sure, like 100%, I don't want to make a rumor, but if memory serves, even though these are rechargeable, you could still use these with regular alkaline batteries. That's one of the biggest bonuses for me. If my rechargeable, 14500 that comes with this light, if it's dead and I need this in an emergency, I always have alkaline AA's ready to go. I don't have to charge it, especially if there's a power outage or something. I don't have easy access. I still can charge things during a power outage because I have power banks and a power station, things like that. But in a real pinch, I could just throw an alkaline here, but the output is not the same. And if memory serves, I want to say the output on the i5R with an alkaline is 150, which would be half the light of the CYANSKY P10 with the same battery. So, you can, again, fact check me, please. I don't mind it. If I'm wrong on something, of course, I always like being corrected. But I want to say on a regular alkaline, run-of-the-mill, store-bought AA, nothing special, you're looking at about 150 lumens. So yeah, they're comparable in a lot of different ways. Obviously, a little cheaper. These work well. I like Olight because I've been using them for years and years and years. And I know everyone, like, no matter what flashlight brand you mention, someone will say, oh, I hate them. I had one break and customer service sucked and whatever. I dropped it or I left it behind my seat and it got wet and it broke. Every company has their duds. I've had flashlights from Thrunite fail. I've had flashlights from Olight fail. I've had flashlights from Surefire fail, Streamlight, Phoenix, 4.7s. 4.7s doesn't even exist anymore. Maglights, I mean, you name it. I use a lot of flashlights. So if you happen to use a lot of lights, you might have one fail, you know, and of course, that is going to change your personal perspective. I've even seen those comments before too, like specifically Olight. Oh, I had an Olight and it broke, and you know, it sucks. I'll never have another Olight, right? But you can find that for any brand. Now, I did also have a Surefire that failed that they did not replace, and that was user error. That was mixing like back in the day when I was kind of new to lights. I mean, literally 10, 12 years ago, something like that, who knows. But I think it was a Model 6P or something, but it had 2 lithium ions. I want to say they were CR123Rs, and one was fully charged and one was empty. So when you mix multiple cells like that, what ended up happening is the one was charging the other battery, but it was happening so rapidly and fast that it overheated and actually kind of popped, and a little bit of flame came out. Luckily, I was holding my hand. I literally took this out to test it. This is the first day I got it, and I think I got it in a trade. I didn't even buy it. Someone traded it to me. It was like a cop or something. And charged the one battery up. I thought the other battery was good. Put them together, didn't know I couldn't do that, and it overheated, and like flame came out the end, and all this horrible like gas came out. I dropped the thing, I panicked, I didn't know what to do. And then when it finally cooled off, I picked it up, I contacted Surefire, and they said, hey, you can't do that, so we're not gonna help you out. That was a long time ago. I don't know what their customer service would be like today. It's been many years since I had to even talk to them. But anyway, my whole point here is it's kind of hit and miss. It's hit and miss with everything. Unless you have a company that is known specifically for just blowing people off and not helping them, customer service, it just really depends on what person you talk to and what mood they're in at what time of the day. You know what I'm saying? When you make a phone call or you send an email, unfortunately that one person is representing the entire company. And you can have a great experience, you can have a poor experience, but whatever your experience is doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be what someone else deals with, you know? But anyway, so overall, getting back to these lights here, I do like these CYANSKY P10s. I think they're pretty cool. Now, 9 out of 10 times, I'd probably go with an Olight or a Thrunite just because, again, I'm so used to these companies. This, to me, is kind of like a no-name type thing. But honestly, these work great. And the red one that I carry and use, I dropped a couple times on accident. They still work totally fine. I don't know if you can, here, let's see. I mean, knock this off the table here. Ready? You heard that fall and hit the floor? Well, let's check it out. Not that that's the world's worst abuse test, but it works fine. I literally dropped this on accident and it works fine. Maybe if you throw it at a concrete wall a bunch of times, it won't work, but I don't know what would after that. But yeah, so I had you know, unintentional abuse testing with these lights, and they still work fine. So I have confidence in these. Now, as far as the beams go, all right, and it's gonna be hard to kind of show this on camera here, but they're very comparable. All right, this is a shoddy version of showing you this, but in my own testing, again, I use the same places over and over and over and over again for light testing, and these beams were very, very similar in how the spread is and how much output. Even though this is supposed to be 50 lumens more, it's a little bit hard to tell. So if you want to save a couple bucks and just try a new brand, that's a new option. That's why I'm making the video, just to tell you guys that there are other things out there. Not the same 2 or 3 brands that everyone talks about constantly. Believe it or not, there's more knives than just Benchmade and Spyderco. There's more flashlights than Thrunite and Olight. There's a lot of competition out there. And sometimes they don't get as much exposure, or people don't talk about it as much, but it just kind of is what it is. There's the popular brands for a reason. But these are great. That's the whole point here. I just want to mention that they're impressive to me, and they are a couple bucks cheaper. So if you want to save 9 or 10 bucks, might be worth looking into for an EDC style flashlight that rocks a very simple single AA alkaline battery. Let's pop this head off here. Let me show you that real quick. There's the battery came with it. No idea the branding. Fly Deer, alkaline. So I'm sure you throw a nice Energizer, you know, or you know, something else in there, it worked totally fine. Now, as far as the people wondering, what if I throw a rechargeable in there? Well, I wouldn't. I haven't. You know, if you hop on the forums, maybe some people tested these types of stuff and, you know, some different things that maybe you get a little more power, but I wouldn't mess around with it just because you never know if that's going to break it. You know, it's not really meant for that. Although sometimes flashlights can handle the extra juice and they are literally brighter, I would stick with what's recommended by the manufacturer. All right, these are meant to take alkaline AA's, so that's what I'm using them, and they work great. So anyway, that's all. If you happen to use this brand before, or if there's another model from this brand that you like, let me know about it. Because like I said, it's a nice little exposure. I've had very positive experience with it. Pretty cool little product, so I'm gonna check out and see what else they have. But if you have something specific that you carry and use and you like, let everyone know in the comment section. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.